Hello, I'm Charlie. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about restarting a Dexcom G6 sensor, one that you have already used for the allotted 10-day period. Now, before I begin, I should say I'm not a medical professional. I wear a Dexcom G6 and I like to restart mine because I know how much money it costs and I like my dollar to last me a little bit longer. But you are doing it at your own risk should you choose to try this. And it is not recommended by Dexcom to reuse their G6 sensor past that 10 days. I have found that it is still accurate, but I would recommend that you use your glucometer for a day after restarting a sensor just to check the accuracy. All right, the first thing you need to do to restart your sensor is to actually stop the current session. And I found that you need to do this before you get all the way to the end. So when it gives you that warning that you have just a couple hours left, make sure to stop it then. Stop sensor. Now make sure that if you have any other devices that your CGM is transmitting this information to, that you stop the sensor on all of those and that you do it early. Like I said, at least 2 hours before you get to the very end of your session. Now, the next thing to do is to actually get the sensor out without actually taking the patch off. But I just use, this is a health insurance card, something thin, and you get it wedged in between there. There we go. See, I've got it wedged in there. And I just slide along the side. Depending on where I have put my sensor, I sometimes need my husband's help. So just slip in the side there and it pops right out. You go from the other side. Oh, there we go. All right, so now that I have the sensor out, I'm going to use a wipe and just clean that off and then set a timer for 30 minutes. Now, after a lot of trial and error, I found that 30 minutes is necessary. I restarted it immediately once and got the warning that I'm not supposed to reuse sensors. So you can't just immediately turn around and put it back in. Okay, I'm back. It's been 30 minutes, so I'm going to put my sensor back in. Now I'm going to do it on my pump, but I found that if I am only using my pump to get the readings, that I actually don't have success restarting an old sensor. So I have to also do this on my phone to get those readings going again. I don't know why this is, but I found that it works if I'm using my phone and my pump, so I just keep on doing it. But we'll go to options, down to CGM, and start sensor. Now it's asking for a code. So I'm going to push code. By the way, you can skip this part and restart it still. You will be required to calibrate. If you use a code, then you shouldn't need any calibrations. So I'm going to put in my code, 9117. Code confirmed. Would you like to start your sensor? Now, if you're a little leery about actually being able to use a code twice, don't worry about it. This is a new sensor, unopened. 9117 is the code. This is a tab that I took off a sensor that I used months ago, and I keep those tabs so that I always have a code to use when I'm redoing an old sensor. Same exact code, and these came in completely different batches. So the codes can be reused. I just, like I said, keep a couple from old sensors, and then I have a couple to choose from every time I restart my sensor. Before I push start sensor, I'm just gonna get my cleaned off sensor and put it back in here and listen for those clicks. 1, 2. Now that I've put that in, I can check this off and say start sensor. Sensor started. Now I will have to wait the 2 hours for it to warm up, and then we'll come back and see what happens. All right, so it's been 2 hours and my sensor is back up again. Wish I had a better reading to show you, but 300 and with an arrow going down. Tested to see if it was accurate, and it's pretty close. So there you go. Big things to remember. Make sure you stop the sensor before it finishes on its own. Make sure you are away from the sensor for 30 minutes before you put it back in to reuse it again. And you should be good. Comment below if you have questions. Tell me how it goes when you try it for yourself. And make sure to subscribe. Thanks. Bye.